It's Halloweekends here at Cedar Point. How's it going, everyone? It's David here, and join me as I take a weekend visit here up to Cedar Point here for their Halloweekends Halloween event and see what changes are happening this year, as well as get on some of our favorite rides. So let's go in and try to have some fun. Good morning, Cedar Point. Always enjoy a visit up here in Sandusky, and especially up here for Halloweekends. So one major change at Halloweekends this year is that haunted attractions are an additional upcharge. Now, I'm here on a Saturday, and it was only $15, but yeah, it is no longer included in your admission. This is following the Six Flags method that they used to have for Fright Fest. But yeah, you can prepay online, which I highly recommend you do. It's cheaper, you don't have to wait in line. And I was able to come here to the Point Plaza gift shop in front of the park with no line to pick up my wristband. Began my day right here on Top Thrill 2. Really fun coaster. I'm really starting to warm up to this version. And only waited about 20 minutes here at park opening, which is very nice.
Our girls growing up. The last year.
Siren's Curse. And that is still a spectacular ride in this park. Easily one of the best in the park. The tilt track, we were sitting towards the back of the train, getting lifted up higher than you were, just dangling, and then having that great free fall, great sense of airtime and speed. And the whole ride is filled with ejector airtime, whippy transitions, butter smooth, and as an added bonus, the soundtrack with the onboard audio. Awesome, awesome ride. If you want to hear my first ever reactions of this coaster, check out this video here where I checked it out earlier this summer. Proof that Siren's Curse is absolutely a spectator ride. Everyone's just standing around watching this thing go. Because there was no line, hopped here on Iron Dragon, and I think that is a very good family ride. I think that's a good first big coaster for any kids. Not too rough, not too wild, not too crazy, but it's a nice little scenic flight through one of the few wooded areas of Cedar Point, and that double helix finale around the water, iconic. know Cedar Point is all about big roller coasters and thrill rides, but I really hope that they do not remove the Frontier Trail. Such a nice, quiet, serene place to just walk around, see some animals, go into some shops. Very nice. Last time I was here, I got evac'd off of Millennium Force. And with that, got a one-time exit pass. Gonna use it now here on Maverick, which is sporting a 75-minute wait. Oh, Maverick, you never get old. Probably still, in my opinion, the most intense coaster in this park. And what really elevates that ride is that second half, especially that second launch in the tunnel. One of the best launches in the world, in my opinion. We are in a new era for Halloweekends. New for this year is a brand new haunt experience, the Conjuring Beyond Fear. This is an upcharge 20-minute long haunt slash show slash escape room. I don't really know exactly what it is, but we're gonna try to do this tonight. However, tickets are sold out online. However, I did get intel that there is a physical ticket booth right here that opens up at 4 o'clock, where they do have a select few day of tickets you can buy on the spot. So hopefully we can try to do this. But yes, we are now in an age of IP driven haunts here at Halloweekends. They really don't make them like they used to. Not only is Gemini still a very fun aero racing coaster with surprising pops of airtime and really fun racing interactions of slapping and shaking hands from the other train, but this thing is a capacity monster. I'm here on a busy Saturday. The queue line was half filled, only took me about 15 minutes. Man, very high capacity. And to think it was even higher back in its heyday, as now it runs 4 trains max, but when it first opened, it ran up to 6 trains, which is just crazy to think. But Gemini, don't sleep on this. One of my favorite rides here, super fun. Magnum XL 200. Still absolutely love this ride. Although I am fearful for this ride. I know Cedar Point does, they take very good care in running and maintaining all of their aerodynamic coasters, Magnum included. But Here I am in the middle of the day. It's 3 o'clock on a Saturday during Halloweekends, and Magnum is only like a 15-minute wait. I mean, a 200+ foot roller coaster in a roller coaster heavy park should be more popular. That being said, kind of like Gemini, which I just did, this is having very good capacity and very good operations today. The line almost didn't stop moving on that. As an added bonus, I did get a front row ride on that, which was very fun. I still prefer the back on this, but the front, I feel like you get more yeeted going up into the airtime hills. And also, you can't beat those unobstructed views looking out on the lake. Great ride. So I'm over here in Kitty Kingdom, and they have a trick-or-treat trail, and the various stations have kitty-fied versions of previous haunts and scare zones. For example, we have Carnival and Happy Jack's Toy Factory. Growing up, coming to Halloweekends, I definitely remember these.
I think she's got scars. I have scars.
Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek.
Behind me is truly a timeless classic here at Cedar Point, Cedar Downs, one of only 3 derby racers left in operation, the others being at Rye Playland and Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The best way to describe this is a supersized and super fast racing carousel, and is a borderline thrill ride. This ride has been operating since 1967 and pretty much has not changed since. We are here in 2025 and there is still no modern restraints on this thing, which just blows my mind actually. But yeah, super fun ride. Honestly, one of my favorite non-roller coaster rides here at Cedar Point, and in my opinion, a must-do. Just had a ride on the Blue Streak, or this time of year they call it the Boo Streak. And this is the oldest and last true wooden coaster here at Cedar Point, and I still think it holds its own, even among the steel giants. Just had a back row ride on it, and while it may not be the smoothest, wowie zowie, that thing had a lot of airtime on that, really bouncing around in your seat on that. It's a really good, solid Herb Schmeck PTC Classic Woody. It's just after 6, which means the haunts are open. Our first one, midnight. Now I know this is only our first haunt, but seeing how there is absolutely no line here at 6 o'clock, yeah, I don't know if these upcharge haunts are going to be a big success for this park or not. One house down tonight, just got through midnight, and that was a really good one to start out with. The general theme or vibe kind of seemed to be all over the place. What I got was, it was like, it's midnight, it's the witching hour, we're gonna have some rituals. There was also some possessed dolls, and there were some scenes that felt like straight out of Beetlejuice with crooked hallways and psychedelic lighting and whatnot. I will say, me and one other person I'm with tonight were the only ones in the entire maze, which honestly was a benefit for us because the actors were absolutely on their A game and they were having a blast following us through the entire maze. And I will say, at least here at Halloweekends, these actors get pretty darn close to you. They get into your personal space, and I got startled many times in this maze. And usually I'm pretty satiated with these haunted mazes, but this one really got me. Good ambiance, good theming throughout. There seemed to be a lot of actors in there. Good one to start out with. I really enjoyed Midnight. Next is The Haunting of Erie Estate, and this one does have a mostly filled queue, so maybe it was just midnight that nobody was going to. Erie Estate, or now called The Haunting of Erie Estate, has been a long-time staple haunt here at Halloweekends. And there are pros and cons to that. There are parts of this haunt that are starting to feel old and stale, but there are newer elements. I know new elements since the last time I did this haunt that I actually thought were pretty well. I think the attention to detail and the scenery is great. It's your typical haunted house theming. I will say, at least compared to the last house that we did, which was Midnight, it felt like there was half the number of actors, or at least it felt that way. There were rooms where you would go in there and nothing would really happen. It looked cool, a lot of detail, but nothing was really going on. That being said, it was dark in some portions. The actors had some good jumps, had some good scares. They, once again, got pretty close in your face for that. A couple standout elements. There was one ghost girl at a piano who would slam on the piano and play off key. That was great. There was another guy behind a window banging through, and then he was able to break free. That was pretty neat. There was a guy hiding inside of a clothes closet, a very dimly lit clothes closet as you were brushing your way through. There was a hallway where there was a bright light shining on you, and then at the end, there was a girl with a fan that definitely got me too. So, not the best house that I did, but I still definitely enjoyed myself. Paying respects to the Dead Ride Cemetery. Notable things here, we got a Mean Streak lead car, got the Zero car for Mantis, we got an old Skyride car for the Frontier Lift, and we got a Wildcat car and the front of a boat from Snake River Falls. Next up, Club Orpheus. This one is inside of Steel Vengeance. And yeah, this line doesn't look too long. As you can tell by this lighting, just did Club Orpheus. And it started off pretty promising. Think of it as like a vampire EDM dance club, and then you go into a hotel, like a little butcher shop, some blood and guts, gore and whatnot. Kind of like the last haunt I did, there was just some empty rooms where something should have happened, or maybe should have happened, or maybe there should have been an actor there and not really. And of the three I did here so far, this one I think felt the cheapest. There was a lot of black plywood walls here and there. It had some moments, but overall it was just okay. Whoa! Here come the cowboys. Oh my. Okay, just got done with Fairground Freak Show. Again, not too long of a wait for that. And that was a very fun house. First off, a lot of attention to detail in there. Feels like you're in the big top, you're in the fairgrounds. There's some animatronics and figures in there. And as a theme park nerd, there was some old Cedar Point artifacts in there from previous haunts, such as the big Jack-in-the-Box from Happy Jack's Toy Factory. There was even an operational working Laughing Sow in there. I don't know how old or how authentic that was, but that was such a cool touch. There was taxidermy, there was oddities, and it was a very fun walkthrough for sure, and there was plenty of actors in there for sure. Definitely one of my favorite ones here so far tonight. Just did Cutthroat Cove, which is an outdoor walkthrough. That was very, very good, and nice and long too. It's a one-way path that actually goes underneath of Maverick. It begins over in Frontier Town and ends here in the Frontier Trail. But yeah, some very good lighting and tons of fog. I mean, almost too much fog actually. A lot of actors in there, and they were just having fun. I am disappointed. There was not a single pirate in there that wanted any treasure or booty. They all wanted rum. But everyone was having a good time with it, and I thought it was very good. I do want to add, when you come here to Halloweekends, if you want to do most of the mazes, you do need one of these. You need a haunt attraction wristband. There are certain ones that are included in your admission. You have no wristband required. All of the outdoor scare zones, as well as Blood on the Bayou and Cutthroat Cove, which are two outdoor mazes, you do not need a wristband for. You can go in. The only outdoor one that you do need a wristband for is for Cornstalkers, and for all the indoor haunts you also need a wristband for as well.
I can't hear you. What are you blind? Do you see any ears?
Get around here, bro.
Leave me alone! How am I gonna light?
Jack is whiskey. Around this one.
Hi. Just did two more mazes. Just got done with Slaughterhouse. That was definitely the longest line we waited in today. These are the lines I'm usually used to. That was a good hour wait right there. But while waiting in line, you did get some good views of Millennium Force. But anyways, Slaughterhouse looked and felt and smelled like a real slaughterhouse. There was smellitizers. You were inside of an oven, it got really hot. You were inside of a freezer, it got very cold. It smelled very bad in there. If you're freaked out by blood and guts, this is definitely not the house for you. There was a good number of actors in there, good scares. And the set design was actually very well done, very well detailed, and a couple of surprises. The biggest one, actually two big surprises for me, was there was a automatic lever that lifted up a shelf and barrels rolled toward you. That was fun. Oh, I got a friend joining me.
Oh, what's that?
Hello. I love this time of year. So anyways, there was a part where barrels would roll down and hit metal, and it was very loud and jarring. And then another thing that I don't remember doing on this is that when you exit, there's actually a very brief outdoor portion where there was a guy with a chainsaw chasing after you. I thought it was pretty good. Not quite worth that wait, but still a good house nonetheless. Then we went over to Dead Blood on the Bayou, which is one of those where you just walk right through. It's a one-way scare zone, and this is another one of those that you do not need a wristband for. And that was another very good walkthrough. Awesome lighting in there. It goes on the old Adventure Island, and it had some very good set design and props and lighting. Not the scariest one of tonight so far. It had a very, very loose rip-off Friday the 13th feel to it with a camp. But honestly, it was still a good time and got some really good views there as well. I want to reiterate my case from earlier about Magnum. It's about 9:30 on a Saturday night, and there's no line. Ready for a night ride. I think if you were going to dedicate some time for night rides here at Halloweekends, we just did two very good choices. Millennium Force is absolutely epic here for Halloweekends. Not only is it dark in certain sections, but in other parts it is filled with fog and multicolored lights from the nearby haunts and scare zones. Oh, and in the brisk cool air, it's wonderful. Also, rode a night ride on Siren's Curse, and with the lights on the train and around the ride, oh boy, is that still a complete package experience. I'll tell you what, for being a Saturday at Halloweekends, the crowds are very much all over the place. Some haunts are walk-ons or a little wait, while others have over an hour wait. Same thing for the roller coasters. We waited a good bit for Siren's Curse and Millennium Force, but here we go at Raptor. No line. Now this is how you end your Cedar Point day. Walk on for Steel Vengeance. Now that's a way to end the night. Just ended my Cedar Point day with 4 consecutive rides on Steel Vengeance. There was no line here for the last half hour the park was open, and I definitely took advantage of that. And I'll tell you what, that ride was absolutely flying tonight. Here in the fog and the multicolored lights, no trim brakes, probably some of the best rides I ever had on this ride. Ooh, ending on a high tonight. I'll tell you what, I think Cedar Point, after closing with all the scary music and sound effects still on, is even scarier than having the scare actors roam around. Man, this is freaky right now. And that's going to do it here from Halloweekends at Cedar Point. For it being a Saturday today, got to do a good number of rides, and with our attraction pass for the haunts, got to do 5 out of the 6 walkthroughs. Did not get to go through Cornstalkers. That had a very long line. And the crowd flow overall today was quite weird. Some rides and mazes had little to no lines. Some had hour, 2-hour waits. Some roller coasters, even big heavy hitters, sometimes would have big, long hour, 2-hour waits. Other times, it would be walk-ons. As apparent here with Steel Vengeance just now, having a little marathon here at the end, which was awesome. But overall, I do enjoy coming here to Cedar Point for Halloweekends. They actually do a pretty good job here decorating and sprucing up the park, pretty much all throughout the park. Just keep note when you come in here that all of the scare zones and most of the haunted attractions at nightfall are in the back section of the park, while the front section of the park is pretty much family friendly all day long. So keep that in mind. And when you do come in here, go in with a little bit of research. There was a good number of guests that I saw that were confused or frustrated, mainly about the haunt attraction pass, because this event has been going on for almost 30 years, and Cedar Point has trained us guests to come into these haunts included with admission, and now this year with the whole Six Flags merger and everything, you now have to pay for it. Luckily, it wasn't too expensive. It was only $15 here. And as I said, I got to do 5 out of 6 of them tonight, so I actually found good value in that. So just take that for what it's worth. I think it did throw a curveball in terms of crowd flow and how long some of the lines for some of these haunts were and whatnot. But overall, Cedar Point had a very good time here today, for sure. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe for more amusement park content. And with that being said, thank you all for riding, and I'll see you next time.